Years? It's crazy. So good. Is this your first convention back? I'm guessing.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes.
How does it feel to be back?
How does it feel to be back? It feels like we're back.
This is the most people I've been around.
We're fortunate.
Yeah.
We're fortunate to all be here.
Yeah. So we'll just, this will be fun and informal, and we'll just have a big group chat. I want to ask you about working. Yeah, you want to just read my questions off?
No, go on.
I want to ask you about, of course, starting with They Live. You know, by that time it was John Carpenter's 9th film. But what was your kind of approach going into that movie? It was, I think, unappreciated in its day, and sadly, it's become more and more timely.
Who are you speaking about?
About John Carpenter.
About John Carpenter.
And They Live. And your experience on that movie.
It was extraordinary.
Yeah.
It was a very different time.
Yeah.
Good gracious. So who all was in there, everybody?
Roddy.
That's right. That's right. Name is Mr. Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
And
Pete David.
he's the kindest, one of the kindest, most extraordinary gentlemen that I have ever met. He was a treasure. I watched him when he was doing his wrestling, but I met him. John invited us over, and I will share this lovely thing that happened. We went into John's home, and John went to get some coffee or whatever it was that we were going to be drinking, and Rod and I think that Rod and I were sitting. Rod was sitting on the floor. I think we were sitting on the floor, but don't quote me, all right? But you could pretend if you need to. But the lovely thing is that Rod was looking out the window, or perhaps it was at the fireplace, but it was anyway. And I had just sat there, and I came in and I sat down, and he was just. He's very quiet, and he was obviously thinking I didn't want to disturb him because I just met him, and then all of a sudden he went, "Oh, I don't know." No, I don't know. And I just met him, and I went, "Excuse me, Roddy, is there something I could hide? Something I can talk to you? Do you want to say anything?" And he went, "Oh, I don't know." He says, but he's all still looking, he's still in this thing, and then he turns around and he says, "I just don't know." but just in a true voice. He's really, I've never heard anybody speak that you've just met. You sort of heard them talking with themselves, and then you realize that, and he just turns quietly with this lovely young man face and just says, "I just don't know." And he said, "I have 3 daughters, and now my first daughter, it's okay, and then second girl, we're doing it's good." And he said, "But I don't know about my third." It was just so this to me was my entrance, and not my entrance, or when we meet new people.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if we're meeting our new nephews or whatever, but it was something that a man had never.
Yeah.
Because he was someone who had an extraordinary mind and an incredible heart, and could do anything.
Yeah.
Really, and a treasure of a human being for all us to have been able to see his work, and so that's that little boy.
Yeah. And then I want to ask you about your more recent work with Rob Zombie, who is he's one of those people that is a true fan and grew up with, obviously movies like John Carpenter's whole entire body of work has informed his body of work, obviously directly Remain Halloween, but then, I'm such a fan of his kind of unique vision stuff. He always makes what he wants to make.
Yes.
And whether you like it or not, it's his, it's uniquely his. And I want to talk about, both 31 and a movie I really love you in is Lords of Salem, which is such a cool kind of take on, Salem and the witch trials. And talk about just working with Rob and that kind of continual working relationship you have with him.
In which one did you want me to start with?
Just working with him in general, with Rob.
Okay. We're meeting Mr. Rob Zombie. I had been living in, good gracious, a number of wonderful places. I was in Washington State for a while, and then I came back down to Los Angeles, and then I went up there, and then I went up there. And anyway, so, I had seen Rob Zombie, in magazines, things like that. But when I came back to Los Angeles for a bit, my lovely manager, Christopher Rowe, said that there was a gentleman who called, Rob Zombie, and he'd like to speak with you about, a role, or talk with you, see if you'd be interested, or get out of here, or whatever. And so, and that came when I was in Washington State, taking care of my mother. But anyway, when I spoke to Rob, and got him on the phone, and we just spoke, and there was just something very, as you said, and as you know, and as anybody else who is, knows all the levels or all the layers of Mr. Zombie's treasures. We just spoke. It was as if, it felt like meeting a whole new world, a whole new, which you could tell it in his voice. When you pick up the phone, or he's a very powerful, tender human being, and very, very, very talented. So he said, well, do you want to come? He said, would you be interested in coming to work with me on something? After we spoke for a while, and I said, well, I guess so. I guess I should ask, And I didn't know anything really of him. And then I met him, and on this, oh my God, no, it was being where the film was going to be done at the time, was where they had done Tyne Daly and I had done that show that I was in with Tyno. And but so it's like you come in and. Well, it was extraordinary. We were there, and it just worked. I have no other way of saying it. Then I entered something that opened me in an internal way because of his grace, his energy, his time, his order, and there was just such an incredible openness. World of being now with this incredible cast, and we all fit pretty good together.
And it led to a true collaboration.
It really was.
Continual collaboration. Let's open it up to you guys. I'm sure you have some questions as well. So who wants to go first? Don't be shy. Yeah, right here.
You were telling a great story about the Evil Lynn character and how they were doing the headpiece and the hair and the makeup.
The Evil Lynn one?
Yes.
Evil Lynn.
With the Masters of the Universe.
I'm sorry?
Masters of the Universe, the He-Man and all that.
Or Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe. Oh, yes, Masters. Let's see. Masters of the Universe. And what year was that one?
85,
85.
84, 85.
87.
There we go, that sounds good.
Yeah.
And you said there was a story about the headpiece?
Yeah, she was telling about the headpiece and how they were doing the hair and the makeup and how they were doing all of the costume for you.
Oh, you're talking about which date was it, honey?
When we were at the table, you were talking and describing to us about the costume and how they were doing the hair.
It was a costume with
Evil Lynn.
Evil Lynn, but that wasn't for the one. Ooh. Evil Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
And where was Evil Lynn? You have to get. It wasn't with I'm so sorry, I haven't been up for 3 years.
No, it's okay.
3 months. 3 months.
No, it feels like 3 years. With Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Dolph, yeah.
with Dolph.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, honey. It was the date.
You've done a lot of movies.
All right. It was with Edith Head.
Yes.
Thank you. That's what I was. Oh, Edith Head. No. Yes. That was extraordinary because it was the most incredible designer for all of Los Angeles and a lot of all the way up into oh goodness gracious, forever. She was the one that did all the clothes. And there was a wonderful woman there who designed them. And what happened was, I have to stand up if I can mime it for you, it would be, or whatever. But I went there and I showed you this earlier, didn't I? Somebody must have gotten it. But
Kill it.
what happened was I had to stand here. Well, I don't have to. I'm a quiet person, and I just pay attention to anybody who's assisting me or being good. And there was this, oh my goodness. So Edith Head is there, and I was standing there, and Dolph. Right. Oh, well, I can do the Dolph one out of the. I'll do that one too. Because that one's hysterical. So I'm standing there like this, and I'm remembering that my mom and dad told me to do this, and I always sort of did. So I just stood there on this little thing, and Edith is doing this, and the other lady's doing this, and they're tucking this, and they're doing this, and they're doing this, and I'm just standing there, and they're talking because they know what they're talking about. I'm just standing there, and I go, oh. This is all right. Okay, well, let's see where we go. And so they did all that, and then they said, okay, now what we would like to do is we're going to start doing, your costume. And of course, costume, hello, is a big word. So, because you stood there for a while they said, and we're taking your hair, right? So, the amazing thing is that you get there, and they now start doing all these other things. Do you know what I mean? They're going to get you there. We're going to put breasts here. We'll put the breasts here. Put the breasts there.
Everything needs a shot.
And we do that, and you pull that, and you pull that. But they created the most beautiful. It's so lovely. You're sort of being a dummy mannequin, a dummy mannequin that knows nothing, and you don't know where you're going with it. It doesn't matter, but it's so extraordinarily intimate to watch these incredible people who create what we all get to. I mean, it's like being drawn on, and erased, and drawn on and erased. So that's how I feel about all this type of thing. I was given great opportunity, and never had anybody be nasty to me, nor was I nasty to them, except for once.
Don't worry, it wasn't you.
Except for once.
It wasn't me.
But I can go very long time about all these things because they all sort of stream in together. They're in beads.
Yeah.
Hi, you. Hi, you. So,
Next. Who else had a question? Oh, yeah, right here.
How do you keep your eyes so blue? They're beautiful. They're so beautiful.
How do you keep your eyes so blue?
Okay.
Seriously, they're beautiful.
I think I've spoken to a few of you over the years when I've come here, because I feel so at home here. And I'm so glad that we're all here together and we're all able to be back. As a, should I say it? As a child, I was about 4 years old, and I don't know if you can all say, oh, shut up, please. But the main thing that drove me to, not didn't drive me to, but I'm an outdoor girl, you know, and I grew up in very early in Rowayton, Connecticut, and then moved to North Carolina just after the war, and watched all of Charlotte, North Carolina's mud turn into homes. And as I mentioned to so many people, you know, when you're a child and you move, you know, it was shortly after the war, actually, and there was just this incredible space and houses being built, and it was huge. And you arrive and you're just a child, so. But what happened with this was, yeah, how do I say this?
Your eyes are beautiful.
That my eyes are beautiful, that's right.
They're very
Thank you, honey. My mom called me into the, from outside in Rowayton, Connecticut, and she said, Maggie, come in, and I just turned around. I think I was maybe 5 or 6, I think, in there that age. I think maybe 6 or 7, maybe, but quite young. And I walked in the door. 6, 7, 6. I don't know. I've been trying to figure it out. But what happened was I walked in the door, and there was sort of, she said, you know, it's Lady Nancy's would like to meet you. And I turned to look at the woman. And I feel so silly. And what it was is that it changed my reality. It changed my world. It changed everything, sort of, that has in a way made me and or honored me. The woman turned around and said hi, and she had the most, Dad had green eyes and my mother had blue. And I'd never seen brown eyes.
Wow.
And
my eyes are black.
You haven't seen them in the light and how the light.
Yes.
Right. But that's what happened.
That means a lot coming from you.
but it was extraordinary, because I was little, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
I was alive and running in the forest and doing this and catching fish and what's that?
Wow.
And I just looked, and what came to me, or whatever, because I was a child. We don't have, you know, so you know what I mean. I know you know. So what happened was,
Blue eyes.
but I know, honey, I know. I just look at the sky.
I love your eyes. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
thank you.
but I
No,
just
la
love them.
babucha, que no nos tenemos que dar la seguridad de tu guapo, mamá. Pues sí, no, no, va, que chuara, se puede. No, va, don't, mamá. It's all okay. No, but what happened is then what happened? It's not even what happened, it became. The brown eye is the sun, the moon, the stars, the skies, the planets, and beyond. And that's what I saw if I'm trying to put it into words. But what I was embraced with when this lovely lady turned, and I never probably would have seen it before that, do you know what I mean? So that's why it's so very important in some extraordinary way, but it is treasured. I held it like a treasure.
Wow. Wow, that's really beautiful. Yeah.
Because I'm a little girl, and I was always out in the things, and I always look up, you know, that's a little girl.
Yeah.
And the truth is, I am a little girl.
Still a teen little girl.
Yeah. And look out for the water snakes. You know, I'm like,
yeah.
Where's everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. And but it is so. And when I did look up, it was the most beautiful, calm, extraordinary thing that I saw. And this is one of the reasons why the brown eye, I believe, brought me to understanding the universe.
Wow.
And it brought me to understanding, in an odd way, a little girl way, because I was young, that I was really alive. And that I had things above me that were saying, "Hi, Maggie. Hi. The sun's going to go down. Where are you?"
Wow.
And I would go and make beds at night, you know, I'd do all this stuff. So then my mother said, and if you know children, if you have little children, sometimes they have a reaction. This is where I got the This is what I would do when I would be in banks when I was living in Wakana, Washington, a number of years ago, because there was a little baby who was on the counter. It's a small place, it's huge now, but I mean it was small, and this little baby was sitting there crying, and she was a new little babyish, and she's only this, and she and I went, oh my, she did, and the mother, you know, was, what are you doing? She said, it's okay, I got it.
Probably reacted exactly like a baby.
And the baby went, it calmed down and it looked and it went, oh no, maybe it's a
That's spoken language.
And I had, because she wanted, it was Christmas time, and she wanted to hold the little baby, the little Santa Claus that was on the thing. And I said, come on, each. And she would, the little one took it. And you see, it's the truth is a butter. See, that's why we did it. Do you have $50? Oh, no, we go. No, we go local. No. So, anyway, I'm a little, this is sort of.
No, I love it. This is the greatest panel I've ever hosted. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We can all go on the internet and read on. We can all go on the internet and read trivia about They Live, but this is beautiful. I love this. Any more? Because if you give a question or a compliment out eyes, that is what you are going to get. So I love it. It's so special.
And we see
Beautiful, beautiful blue eyes.
God bless you. Thank you.
Every movie you've been in.
That's why we fell in love with you. It's why we fell in love with you.
You fall in love with me?
We do.
I fall in love with you, you know that.
I know that. You made me cry in 2019 because you were like the beautiful brown eyes, and I fell in love with you instantly.
You
Again.
see, that's why I tell you.
Again.
It's because you're the beautiful brown eyed people. But I mean, that does not mean that blue-eyed people and green-eyed people and all that other people are not there, but that was my story about, not my story, what came to me as a person.
I know, I'm comfortable.
Look comfortable.
So time for one or two more. One or two more. take us out on a good one. Yes, right here.
Do you have any recollection or any stories about your experience on the set of the Stepfather 2?
Stepfather 2.
Stepfather 2.
That's the one where the escape institution guy moves into the house in front of you.
Terry O'Quinn.
Ah.
Yeah.
Terry O'Quinn.
Terry O'Quinn. Yeah. Stepfather 2.
Terry O'Quinn is divine. Absolutely divine. And I had a terrific time with him. Now, we had a son in that, correct?
Jonathan Briggs.
Yes.
Yes.
I got you tissue if you get weepy.
What, darling?
She brought you a tissue.
We all get
She brought you a tissue.
Oh.
In case you need it.
Oh, no, I'm not going to cry. Jonathan was an extraordinary, because he's a very special young man. And Terry O'Quinn is perfection. He is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful man. We once went to not we together, but we were at the same place, and he walked me to where I was living, and it was the kindest thing. Say thank you. 5 blocks or whatever. And I do a lot of things alone, so it was very. Terry he's delicious, and he's also very funny. He is so good. Has a glib. It is okay. I'll tell. Oh, should I tell them that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you're trying to get me to do?
Yes.
The one that I told you all about, the Kinka?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
But don't tell anybody else.
Don't worry, it'll
just.
Remember, you asked for that. You asked for the story.
I don't want to embarrass.
No, it'll just stay between us.
All right.
Yeah, we won't tell them. No one tell Terry O'Quinn the story.
No,
don't.
tell anybody.
Phones down.
Okay, so Terry,
We get a bedroom soon.
And I'm pretty okay. I mean, I'm okay. This is all like okay. But so we say we're in a bed, right? We're in the bed, like oh God.
This is a great one to end on.
There's a window behind it, and we're a couple, and we just. He wants to make love, and there's a sheet, and then I sit here, and it's my camera's on me, and then what happens is that oh dear.
Hit it.
Huh? Say it.
Go ahead.
You have to say it, gentlemen.
He's remaining anonymous.
You really want me to say it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So Terry Quinn was taking all his things, and the camera was on me, and I was sitting on him. But of course, I wasn't.
Right.
Because
Sure. Yeah.
Right. And it was just the most ridiculous thing. We did it, and Terry was sitting there like this, going, while I was like right in front of him, having to make this fake.
Yeah.
What
Yes.
do we call it? Or whatever.
Orgasm?
That's what we call it. I'll have what she's having. Yeah.
But it was hysterical, and he just laughed, and he was the loveliest man, to tell you the truth. It was really like being with a big brother or something, or just a friend. It just, even though I didn't hardly know him, but he really is an extraordinary gentleman.
Remember?
Perfection.
Yeah. Remember that next time you watch Stepfather 2. All right. Any last questions? We could be here all day because every single movie you've been in, has been incredible. Any last ones? Is there? Oh, well, now there we go. When it rains, it pours. All right, we'll take these last couple.
What are you working on now?
All right, what I'm working on now, I haven't worked on it yet. I will be working on it soon.
We'll be waiting for it.
Bless your heart. Yeah, I can keep it. I will. Thank you.
We love you. We love you.
I love you too, Yeah.
Did you have one? Right here? Yeah.
have you had any like fascination or interaction with the paranormal or the occult?
Oh.
I'm sorry, what are you?
Have you had any interaction or fascination, any experiences with the paranormal?
The paranormal.
The paranormal. Any real life experiences?
I had in a dream.
Do it.
Huh?
That counts.
That counts. That
Give it a
counts.
shot.
Okay. Okay. It was close to going to the stars.
Beautiful.
There was, it was in the dark. There were people, we all had on the same type of clothes as if they were, what would it be?
Uniform? A cult? A uniform?
I'm sorry, honey?
Like a uniform kind of thing?
No, it was night, and it was not super dark, you know, it was like you could see the thing.
It's a ritual.
However, what it was is there was a roof. This happened a long time ago. Thank you for bringing it up. No, I'm trying to, but it was a very long time ago, and we were walking, and it was like in Albuquerque, but the sand that's harder than a rock in the night, and wide open space, but grays and the colored grays and browns, and the ground was hard, and we were all walking, and we had there was men and there was women, and we almost had like not pajamas but like uniform, like a same type of clothing. And what happened was we were walking this way, and so if I was going this way, see, I have to do this with all my hands. Like that. And I had to go that way. Anyway, what happened is we came upon a row of 8 people from Mars or somewhere that were down there, and they weren't people. And they were beautiful, they were all in black, and it was all very tidy. And they were in a row. It was about 8 of them. And we were carrying, we had shovels with us, shovels and the ones that you know, had you know, like, and it was a very old, I mean, they weren't shiny or anything, you know what I mean? And what they did is they stood there, and we all stopped. And they stepped forward, and then they reached out to touch us, right? Well, I didn't move. I wasn't frightened in a way, because they were beautiful. Do you know what I mean? That's the other, it's the same thing, like all of a sudden there's something there. It's not like, ah! You know, and kill them.
Yeah.
Or whatever, or pee. Go ahead and pee. You know, I mean, in a dream, but I mean, you see, little kids do this. Yeah. But it was that type of thing. And this is sometimes, remember when we were talking about the kids and the babies that were crying?
Yeah.
And I said, why? We see this just the other morning, just this morning, right?
Yes.
Pulling the baby. And the little baby had been frightened. And I said, let's go get the little baby. I want to try to help the baby. And you said what? Well, no, you said, no, it's all right. This is what they do. They, you know, he got scared and the baby. So it's that type of thing. And they were beautiful, and they stood there, and we weren't.
Wow.
We just stood there. And then, they didn't. Then the hold on a minute. Where to go? Then an orbit came from above.
Yeah.
I didn't. I went like that and that.
Yeah.
You really anyway, and that was that.
And it
then
felt
they-
so vivid, yeah.
Yeah.
It felt so real. Wow.
And then they left,
Wow.
so.
Not a good answer.
That was
That's a
the
great
one I
answer.
had.
Yeah, I love it. I love
We just
And-
put down the police.
it. Wow. And it doesn't matter if it was a dream or not, it felt so vivid and real to you. So it is real. Yeah.
Well, but I do believe in others.
100%.
So-
I think if you're here at this convention, the answer is yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I know,
Yeah.
but the thing is too is that they chose.
Yeah.
I mean, it's back again to that, they chose to come and say hi or something, they didn't
Yeah.
hurt anybody.
Yeah.
And so it was like, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was like an
It was,
ethereal, calming.
well,
Yeah.
It does that thing, because you're not being aggressive, and they're not
Right.
being aggressive, and we're all,
Yeah.
So
And-
upsetting.
it's fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely.
To me it is, I'm sorry, I don't, if it was a dream, that's where it was, but it's,
So long ago,
Feels very real. Yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap up. If you have a question, you'll be back at your table today and then all day tomorrow. So if you'd like to come meet Meg and talk to her and
Thank you.
get a beautiful, unique story like you've blessed us all with today. Thank you. Think about that. We're so happy to have you here. We're so happy to be back and have all you back. So thank you guys so much.
Be safe.
Yes, be safe and enjoy the rest of your